evening, wherever you are in the art world. The Art Talks are delighted and honored to have tonight, as I would love to name them, 4 art warriors. This wonderful art people are artists, art curators, art advisors, are have one thing in common: the powerful passion for art. And I'm honored to have them all tonight, because they are enhancing the real meaning of art at its core. So I am while I'm admitting more and more people, I would like you to introduce you, Farah Sayed. I hope I said it right this time. She is, we met Farah a long time ago, already a year. She's been a great supporter of the Art Talks, and we became great supporters, actually, great fan of Farah in all her wonderful projects. And especially her paintings talk to us, and especially through an immersive experience and the sense of touch. But she will explain a little bit later, while I'm introducing Hakan Elbir, the founder of Dialogue Hub. Hello, Hakan. Good evening from Istanbul.
Yes. Good evening from Istanbul. Thank you.
And Hakan, I have to introduce him with the beautiful words that Suzanne Moore from The Guardian used in her article, using Martin's Buber philosophical words: the only way to learn is through encounter. Hakan Elbir, Dialogue Hub brings people together through arts, culture, immersive experience, and I want to say, and coffee, which is fantastic. Thank you, Hakan. And now we have an Assad Islam, office manager who is actually talking from Dialogue Hub in London. And we have the extraordinary and inspiring Fulvio Morella, introduced by the incredible Sabino Maria Frassà, who is a curator who has been with us again for a long time, also writing for the Art Talk magazine. And they will all tell you what they do in their amazing art projects. I would like to go back now to Farah. Farah, welcome.
Thank you very much, Carolina. You pronounce my name beautifully. I appreciate that.
Thank you for once.
It's lovely to see everybody. Thank you for joining us today. And it's just been a wonderful experience working with Carolina and Francois. The passion that they have for art and making art accessible to all is phenomenal. And it's just been a real pleasure to be part of this community. So thank you, Carolina, for everything.
Thank you, Farah. You know, it's always a pleasure. As I said, we met in a podcast in Clubhouse, and you just arrived in one of our most wonderful talk about art as a silent revolution. Mm-hmm. And I heard your concepts, and you completely grasped my soul, my heart. And I said, I need to meet her. We were so overwhelmed by what you do. And in fact, you know, it's for me, it was something so important to, you know, what you do is through your paintings, you are not only bringing, you know, anyone, but you break any barriers, you know, all, you know, from people from all ages, backgrounds, cultures. Mm-hmm. It is really extraordinary. So can you tell us a bit more about, you know, this exploring the sense of touch?
Sure, absolutely. So my main passion, as Carolina just said, is to make art accessible to all. And the way that I share my works, it's a very immersive experience, but it's multifaceted, which again connects the viewer in a much deeper way. And I value the viewer's opinion greatly, which again, really gives the viewer a sense of welcoming to the art experience. And that's where I start my interaction with any viewers. And texture has always been a very important part of my art practice, right from the start. Just from pure paint, I used to use a lot of paint on the canvas, still do, with different palette knives, creating lots of heavy textures on the canvas. So these textures are a joy to experience using the sense of touch. Now, I'm sure that most experiences that you have had in a gallery with a piece of art are where you are not allowed to touch the art. And I totally respect that, totally understand the reasoning behind it. But I just wanted to move past that, and I really, really enjoyed sharing the textured elements of what I create on the canvas, because it gives you a whole new dimension of experiencing what is going on. Because all the pieces that I create it's literally energies from within translated onto the canvas, and it's an uninterrupted flow. So literally what you see on the canvas of any of my works are flows of my energy, and the absolute respect that I have for color as well. I have a piece here that I wanted to show you kind of close up, and I don't know if you were able to see the lights changing with the metallics on the canvas as well, which is a different aspect. But the textures you can feel very, very easily because they are there. And when you have a viewer experiencing the works using the sense of touch, it's another level of them feeling connected to the work. So when I was in my big, early journey of inviting people to experience the art using the sense of touch, it made me think. I was very curious about what would it be like for somebody who was only able to experience the art using the sense of touch and couldn't see it. So I had a friend, and this is while we lived in India. I had a friend who had a relative who was blind, and they very kindly arranged a visit with me with some of my works. And I was very blessed because that first interaction was so beautiful, because the person was very, very forthcoming with their opinions and their reactions. And it just got me hooked, because they came up with such poetic responses to what they was literally just feeling on the canvas. And I was like, okay, there is a lot here to explore. That was the start of me thinking, okay, I need to put it together, a workshop where I can explore the sense of touch with somebody experiencing the pieces of art. And I had devised a workshop which is 3-part. So the first section is where people are experiencing the pieces using the sense of touch, and there would be around 8 or 9 to discover. And I wanted to hear what their opinions were of what they were feeling. And I have been blown away by people being very, very generous with their deeply rooted emotional responses, to the point where sometimes they were in tears. And that, I find, is just a huge privilege, to be sitting with a stranger and them telling me what they're feeling using the sense of touch of a canvas. But because it is just a sense of touch, it makes it even more in depth and very, very intense. So then at the same time as all of this was going on, I also discovered the concept of feeling color energy without the need for sight. And that is because while I was in India, trained to be a pranic healer. And pranic healing is healing with energy. And an advanced pranic healer, which is what I have trained to be, is healing with color energy. So knowing that I can physically feel color energy and differentiate between colors without the need for sight, I thought that must be incorporated into my workshop. So my workshop incorporates that as well. So I love sharing with people that you can feel color energy, and you can differentiate between warm colors such as red, orange, yellow, from a cooler color such as white, pale blue, pale green, etc. And you can feel the differences. So I incorporated that into my workshop as well. Now, just to touch upon that, it is very, very empowering for somebody who's blind to then know that they can actually feel a color energy. And I have been very blessed to deliver my workshops globally to many different countries, and where people have, with art, as Carolina mentioned earlier, art transcends all barriers, language, culture, disability, age, gender. It's amazing how in a second I can connect with this complete stranger who maybe can't even speak English and I can't speak their language, and we connect through art. It's a beautiful thing. So in terms of sharing that, the technique of how to feel color energy with a complete stranger, and then them getting very emotional that they can actually do it, is again a huge privilege and an absolute joy to experience. So we in the workshop, so we explore the textures, then I'm showing the color energies, and then we go back to the canvases and where they are very specifically created with warm areas and cool areas. So that's the second part of the workshop. And then the third part of the workshop is where we create textured art together. And that's just so much fun. And we get as messy as possible, which is even more fun. But the thing is, it's very empowering for participants who are blind to create art and have the complete freedom, because we're talking abstract art. There's no right or wrong, but it's the empowering nature of all of that that is just so wonderful to witness. And the reactions that they get, because then they feel very, very happy to be able to share their pieces of art with their family and friends. And I've had feedback from long after workshops are done where people are saying to me that they're still creating art because they've just felt the freedom of being able to do it and just having so much fun with it. So, you know, these experiences have just made me feel so blessed. And having delivered the workshops in many different countries and across the UK, you know, it's just wonderful to share something like that with a complete stranger and making a positive impact on them. And to remember things like where I remember in Hong Kong, somebody was saying to me, a blind participant, that, you know, nobody has ever asked us to experience art, let alone ask our opinion about art. So those kind of sentences made me feel very, very sad, but it gave me a lot of happiness to be able to share it with them and then leave, you know, a lasting impression with them as well. So, you know, I'm just very, very grateful that the art that I create has taken me to all these beautiful places on our planet, but connecting with amazing people, you know, strangers who then become friends. So I'm very, very grateful for all of that.
Thank you, Farah. Thank you. Farah, you mentioned you've been all over the world, actually, in many museums, galleries, special schools, but anywhere. What was the most beautiful part? You said to create art, but the most, you know, where you think, do you think any country does it need more to do that? Do you think England or okay, Italy, we will talk about later with Sabine and Fulvio, but what do you think?
Yes, there are definitely certain regions that would benefit greatly if there were more facilities like this. I was blown away by Australia. They have fantastic organizations such as Accessible Art, and they actually worked out for me to do other workshops as well. And they have many organizations in Australia. I have to say in the UK, there could be better organizations. I've still, you know, done a lot of workshops in the UK, but there could be a better network of organizations who offer such facilities for people to explore creative avenues. I would say definitely India, Hong Kong, Singapore, Malaysia, they could do with a lot more as well. I mean, in Malaysia, I had participants say to me that their only possible professions were to become a masseuse or to be in a factory working in very basic very basic situations in a factory, but not much else. And that was heartbreaking, you know, because seeing other countries where they give a lot more opportunities for people who are blind or with other difficulties physically or mentally, it's heartbreaking to hear that that's the only option that they have, if they have that even. So yeah, it is what it is. Hopefully progress will be made elsewhere.
Yes, and one more thing about your paintings, Farah, that you should share. You don't give titles. I need to tell the world about this. But you give names. You give names.
Yeah, only because I only give them people names because I couldn't keep track of Untitled number 675 and whatever. So for that reason, I gave them people names just for reference purposes. But all the works are effectively untitled because I want to know what the viewer sees in the canvas, because I created something and I don't want to title it because then that ends the story. I give people the description of my process, and that they are all about energy and respect of color and texture, and the play with the light as the surfaces change. But I want them to feel and experience and think of what they see, because everybody has the most amazing opinion about a piece of art, and I want them to feel valued, and their opinion is of great value to me, and that instantly is a wonderful platform to start with. So that's why I do not title the work.
Yes, I think it's always beautiful to, in a way, also to understand the story behind the painting, but also to let your imagination. And I think with your paintings, it is really, your imagination goes, can I say, wild? Because
Good.
there is powerful, there is
Yes.
such an energy that
Uh-huh.
brings you into an artistic voyage each time.
Thank you.
But thank you, Farah. Thank you. And also, now I have to thank you too, because you introduced me Akan Elbir in London during Freeze. And this was a wonderful, wonderful encounter, because I didn't know about this incredible project. And I have to thank you. So
My pleasure.
we introduce once Akan. Hello, Akan is not in London, but in Istanbul, I think.
Yes. Thank you. Actually, it's a coincidence because my journey started in Istanbul around 10 years ago. So I'm here now for organizing our space. We created big venue. It's called Dialogue Museum in Istanbul, and around 10 years ago. It's been a long journey, actually. And then we came to London in 2018. We set up Muse Projects. It's a community interest company. And actually, we aim to create social impact, and also we have equipment and well-experienced people who can measure our social impact that we created. So we aim at leveraging investment capital to increase the impact of arts, culture, on personal and community development, actually. And at the end of the March and beginning of April, we secured a venue in Waterloo, and we realized the Dialogue Hub projects. In a nutshell, actually, Dialogue Hub provides a critical exchange platform for creatives to showcase their work to the public. The platform allows the public to gain a deeper insight into different perspectives and realities by bringing in artists and creatives from different backgrounds, like from underrepresented, disadvantaged, and marginalized backgrounds. The aim is to bridge the gap between wider society and the arts by bringing people together around arts and culture and creating dialogue, sharing experiences. The project aims to create a more inclusive society. That's one of our main targets, actually. And that's why the project runs collaboratively and in partnership with local communities, such as Lambeth Council and local artist organizations and other relevant institutions. The hub is now hosting a dialogue cafe where deaf and hearing impaired people were trained and employed as barista. At our dialogue cafe, for instance, Carolina, as a customer, you must sign British Sign Language. You must use British Sign Language in order to get your coffee, because currently we've got 7 deaf and hearing impaired people. So in order to communicate with our baristas, with the help of signage and videos, you can communicate in BSL. In the meantime, we are hosting also dialogue experience as you mentioned, the exhibition, the experience actually was inspired by Martin Buber's quote, "The only way to learn is through encounter." At Dialogue Experience, we've got currently around 4 or 5 blind and partially sighted people. We train and employ them, and Asad will give you more detail about Dialogue Experience. And as a third pillar, we created Dialogue Gallery. We give importance to this gallery because, at this gallery, actually, we started to organize a regular exhibition and events program. These are all free. As I said, we aim to support local and emerging artists in the area, to create a platform to showcase their artwork, art pieces, and connect people through this, exhibitions and events. And for instance, we started this journey with Shahina Shafer. Shahina is now in the call, and I hope she'll also give detailed information about what we have planned and what we implemented. And our second exhibition, we opened around 1 month ago. It was Cecil's exhibition, Cecil Herrera's. So our third exhibition, actually, we are currently working on. We have a volunteer, deaf and hearing impaired person, Natasha. She's a student, actually. She studies arts, and she's gonna now create a very unique art exhibition with the help of her classmates and teachers. So our third exhibition will be created by deaf and, let's say, hearing people together. That's what we aim, actually, because art brings people and break the walls and prejudice. So once we determine our opening dates, of course, I'll inform you, and I would like to invite you, actually, because it's going to be very interesting and immersive exhibition. That's what I am expecting. Yeah, actually, we always say the most important thing, or one of the important things at our Dialogue Hub, is love and kindness. Because kindness is the language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. So maybe you don't know how to sign British Sign Language, but you can be kind person. You can be, lovely person. You can, open-minded. You can be open-minded person. So we've been inviting people all around London to come and first drink our excellent coffee, because we are partnering with La Marzocco and Old Press. They're doing great coffee. Our baristas were trained by Old Press. So yeah, we've got excellent coffee. We've got excellent environment. Maybe Asad can show you a bit around, in cafe and also gallery and also experience area, because he is there now. So yeah, our main target is to find a permanent venue, because it's a temporary venue. We'll be there until mid next year, let's say. So we started looking for a permanent venue. We received a very good vibes and good feedbacks and insights. So I hope we'll share our good news next year.
Yes, I think it is absolutely wonderful what you do, Hakan, because again, it's really the only way to learn is to encounter, as Martin Buber said, and it's only to, one can only understand when you go through something. Unfortunately, I think it's we can talk for hours, but only when you don't see. when you can't talk, when you can't hear, you can really understand what's happening. And I think, you know, again, I love this piece Suzanne Moore wrote from the garden for you. It's no healing can happen until we properly acknowledge how broken we are. You know, it is really beautiful. And I think what you do, it's very inspiring and something that we all should do, because sometimes we talk, as we say, but we don't we don't do. So I can't wait to see the place. I was gonna be there over this weekend, but unfortunately because of COVID, we are going to be there in February. So I hope for your next exhibition. And yes, it would be lovely if Assad, hello Assad, you could show us a bit the dialogue hub for everyone to see what you do.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Hakan. Thank you, Carolina.
Hello.
Hello. As Hakan, can you hear me well? Or?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, okay, that's very good. Yeah, so I've got headphones and I'm not entirely sure if my voice is coming through. But as Hakan has explained, we are fundamentally a project that works on so many different fronts. We're looking to make art accessible to all, but we are also very much working with disability, and we're working with hearing and visually impaired people, and we're doing that through two different projects, fundamentally that work together in one, in the Dialogue Hub. First is the Dialogue Cafe, and the second is Dialogue Experience. I'm going to quickly just show everyone around the cafe space. I'm just going to quickly go outside. We're going to start from start to finish. I think it's the easiest way to do it. So if we just go outside, so we're based we're based just outside Waterloo Station, just the underground station here, and we're based in a very good road, York Road, which is a very prime location in terms of where London is. And of course, as we see here, there is a Dialogue Hub. This is our front doors. That's our venue. And we have a few screens up. One obviously is down at the moment, but really the aim is to showcase the public various different sign language prompts before they come into the cafe space itself. So yeah, we have sign language and, okay, so we're gonna head into the cafe space. And of course, we have two baristas here at the moment as well, and they're both hearing impaired. And the key is to use the sign language prompts we have on the screen to order your coffee. We are still working on making another screen, because at the moment we have many sign language prompts on this individual screen over here.
Assad, sorry, can you turn the phone vertical, please?
Sure.
Yeah.
Is
That's better.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, no worries. Okay, yeah, sorry. I didn't know which was the more efficient way to do it. But yeah, we have our baristas here.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah. We would love to try the coffee now.
You should. I mean, the machine is a La Marzocco machine, so it's a Florence make. And of course, we have coffee from All Press.
Italian.
Yes, only the best there. Not typical Starbucks or Costa Coffee, but and the blend itself is actually a very unique blend. It's from All Press Coffee, which is an Australian-based roastery, but they have a premises here in London, and they provided a lot of the equipment and a lot of the training for our baristas as well. It's a very interesting blend. So it's several different Latin American countries, so Nicaragua, Guatemala, Brazil, and then curiously enough, Papua New Guinea, which is on the other side of the world, as part of their blend. And their aim is to have a very honey kind of texture to it in terms of its taste. But I think it's best if you taste it rather than it's hard to describe it as such. Then we have obviously one of the key methods that people who come into the cafe space communicate with our baristas is through our partners app in sign language. And they've developed this amazing app where if you just click on the app, you can speak to an interpreter who's then useful. You'll pop up on the screen and she will sign to our baristas so you can communicate with them. So there should be no difficulties in communication, especially for someone who's coming in from a completely non-sign language background. Now, I mean, one amazing thing that we have noticed is how much we have become space for the local and London-based British Sign Language community. And this isn't just hearing impaired people, but a lot of it is students and teachers who teach sign language, who are learning sign language, who may be completely hearing, but they come to this venue to really improve their opportunity to speak with or communicate with people through the use of sign language and to fundamentally support us. On the wall, of course, we have our artwork. This currently is the artwork of Cecil, as Hakan has explained. She's recently, I think, been it's for 2021, the exhibition, I recall, for the Royal Academy of Art summer exhibition. And so she's been shortlisted for that. And so she's a Turkish-based artist, but she is based here in the UK, and very kind of abstract approach to artwork, of course. Prior to Cecil, of course, we had Shahina, who's on the school, her artwork as well. A very similar, well, not very similar, but she has also an abstract approach to art as well. And I'm sure she can explain her artwork a lot better if she has the opportunity. And we have had at least one exhibition where various different artists have showcased their works in various different backgrounds in the local community based here in London. And as Hakan has explained, our next display of artwork will be from a hearing impaired lady who's working very much at the Royal, with a fine arts institution and looking to curate artwork from her classmates who are from various different disability backgrounds as well. Of course, the most important thing is our slogan, kindness is the language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. This is a very important quote from Mark Twain. And of course, we have our fundamental mantra, as they say, as you come into the cafe space. Sorry, I've got this board just blocking it. Just move this out of the way. But in a nutshell, it reads, what separates us from other cafes is the fact that you are only able to use sign language to order your drinks. We aim to break that barrier between the deaf world and the hearing world to create an inclusive society. The most important thing here is love and kindness. This is what makes our coffee the best in town. At Dialogue Hub, kindness comes first. Just like Mark Twain once said, kindness is a language that the deaf can hear and the blind can see. You may not know sign language, but you can be kind and start learning British Sign Language. Dialogue Cafe, London. So as Hakan has already explained, this is fundamentally our philosophy, our mantra, our approach in trying to kind of bridge that barrier between people who can speak and fundamentally cannot speak. And to fundamentally show that there really isn't that much dividing us. A lot of it is very arbitrary. A lot of it is very artificial in its nature. So we just come through to this space over here, and of course, just up on this wall, we've got a lovely display here of Braille and sign language prompts from our designer, Esther. And of course, that's it. And then we kind of go into the space which goes into dialogue experience. Now, I can't actually physically go downstairs and show you dialogue experience, only because it's incomplete and total darkness. But if we come forward, to show you the outside of it, so we have locker spaces where people who are visiting dialogue experience can put their items, and they kind of enter into this dark corridor downstairs, and the rest is, of course, at this point, a mystery until everyone, hopefully on this call, experiences dialogue experience for themselves. But yeah, so fundamentally, dialogue experience is an experience where people kind of go through darkness to experience the cityscape from the perspective of not being able to see at all. And it is from the philosophy of Martin Buber, in which it's a very experiential based experience, has to do very much with one's body, how you experience darkness, the sensory deprivation. And it is a very unique experience. It's hard to explain unless you physically go to it yourself as such. But the underlying aim behind it is to raise awareness towards visual impairment as such. And of course, all of our guides, they are very much from that community. And I mean, one thing we do also have to stress is that not only are we trying to raise awareness of these things, but we are also trying to create employability opportunities. And again, I think we're very unique in that pretty much 80% of our workforce are people from disability backgrounds, which is very unique, and I think is very special in and of itself, considering that you now have many companies, many workforces trying to meet quotas or trying to create these kind of tokenistic services to appeal to making their organizations a lot more inclusive. Whereas we started off from fundamentally a very inclusive space in the first place. And one thing I like to stress, of course, is that despite, of course, our employees being who they are, that's not a limitation in any way, shape, or form. And I mean, we're not just a gimmick. I mean, we're not just a cafe that's run by hearing impaired people. Our coffee is actually very good. They've spent about 6 months really honing their skills, honing their craft. We've worked very closely with Allpress. We've worked very closely with various coffee experts. And I think all of our 6 baristas currently are very, very capable maestros in coffee making, or on the way to becoming maestros. And of course, we are very much in the process of cementing their future careers, because they're all with us for 6 months as part of the government's Kickstarter scheme. And we're looking very much for employability opportunities with other coffee houses, with Allpress Coffee House, with Starbucks, Costa Coffee, for very much willing and looking to have people from all backgrounds, and looking to create more inclusive workspaces as such. Okay, I think
thank you. It was really, really, again, touching, beautiful, and of course now I really want to come and try that coffee because I can't wait. So the only thing is I know that Cecil Herrera is here. I can, or Asad, can you welcome her, because I would love. Yes,
Shahina is here actually.
Shahina. Yeah. Okay, because I love, of course, the Cecil, the title that Asad you should have said, or maybe it's Stronger Together, and I do believe this should be the title of our talk tonight. Yes, really absolutely. Wonderful community. Do you? But thank you so much, Asad. Thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.
It was can't wait to come and see you in London. And Shahina is here. Can she talk for a second?
Hi, everyone.
Hello, Shahina. Welcome. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It's brilliant to be here amongst everyone in these inspiring talks and seeing the hub in full action. It's fantastic.
So Shahina, are you doing the next show? I haven't, I can't, or...
Actually, Shahina was our one of the main inspirations, because at the beginning, there was nothing. Even we didn't have any venue, but we were together and we brainstorming, and then at the end we created our dialogue gallery together with Shahina, and we opened our first exhibition with her artworks.
Fantastic.
Yes.
And can I ask you where did you meet?
Through Blind Aid. So I was really inspired listening to Farah, because it's a very similar inspiration that I've had. So I started off my artistic journey wondering how we could break down the barriers in art and make it more accessible. And similarly, I started exploring with the surface. So I raised the surface so you could touch it. And it was recognized by a Braille Society. And then from there, it's an ongoing thing. So when we were introduced, Hakan said he had this space. And of course, art brightens up everything. So we started off filling that empty space. And we've had a couple of shows and each one has got better. So it's been fantastic. So I think Hassad mentioned that we had a group show. So I was the first artist in residence, and we put out some work alongside the theme of making art interactive and encouraging people to touch. And then we had a group show, which was really good because we had about 6 artists from minority backgrounds. And 3 of those artists, it was their first ever exhibition. So the hub is full of these fantastic memories for people because it's the first time some of them had exhibited. So that's how I've been involved.
Wonderful, wonderful. I think that's and again, it's extremely important during this last months, you know, to have thought about creating such a dialogue hub. But Hakan, are you doing, so you were saying before you were doing already a project in Istanbul now, you're going to open soon?
Actually, as I said, we've been running the bigger version of Dialogue Hub in Turkey, in Istanbul, for the last 10 years. And we are now working on our 3rd experiential exhibition. It's called Dialogue with Time. Mm-hmm. It's about, you know, how to be elder people or old people, let's say, to experience to be, you know, elder people's life. So now that's why I'm here, actually. On one hand, trying to, you know, collaborate with some relevant stakeholders, and on the other hand, our venue belongs to municipalities, so we need to convince them to create a, you know, suitable venue, because we are at the underground station. It was an idle space, and it was given to us for free, but at the beginning for only 6 months. But we are still continue.
I unmute myself. Again, apologies for the unmuting, but no, it's beautiful. It's beautiful. I can, again, thank you, Farah, for, you know, for introducing me to this, because Farah actually told me all about, you went through the immersive experience, Farah. That must be.
Yes, I did. I did it when it was in a different location, but it's the same thing. And it was so moving to have that opportunity to also be guided by somebody who had visual impairment and have a tiny glimpse of their world. And it's obviously different senses become more utilized, but I will never forget it. I have to say, I will never forget the experience, because it's such a well thought out installation where it really does give us, you know, those with sight a feeling of what it is to only utilize your sense of touch, sense of hearing, and other senses of smell as well. And I'm not going to give anything away, Hakan, don't worry, or Asad, don't worry, I won't give any details away. But all I can say is I highly recommend it, and it left a lasting impression on me. And I really hope whoever can, you know, that you do visit. And it's Waterloo, which is a fantastic location. And I'd also just like to say the baristas are such a joy. They are so lovely, really friendly, very accommodating if you get it wrong, because I think I mixed up my order. So they were very, very kind to me. So thank you for that. But yeah, please do visit. Please definitely visit it.
Thank you, Farah. Thank you. Thank you so much. And now, you know, for anybody who would like to ask some questions, we will come back to you. And now we're going to introduce another wonderful artist that was introduced a long time ago from the wonderful Sabino. Fulvio, are you there? I can't see you. Eccolo qua. Fulvio. You know, you created something also extraordinary. And now you have another exhibition called Ars Construens, toccare l'arte per ripensare al futuro, touching art to rethink about the future. And it is an unprecedented artistic project, Blind Wood, which you have introduced Braille writing onto your artistic research. Can you tell us a bit more?
Thank you, Carolina. Thank you. Hello, everyone. For me, it's always important that people could touch the artworks. From this reflection comes the will to make works that allow to be enjoyed by all people, regardless of their limits. So I decided to make my new artistic project, Blind Wood, that is a kind of wood sculptural paintings to touch. They seem abstract, but in reality, my works are based on known monuments or objects, such as the Pantheon in Rome, with the only frontal view. Many of us cannot understand it. Here, my work self-portrait. The writing in Braille that completes the work helps to understand the work, explaining its meanings, the artist meanings. So in the end, the blind people can see the work completely. Here we have Sabino, curator of my exhibitions in Milan. And hi, Sabino, are you there?
Yes, I'm here. Thank you, Fulvio.
Sabino, I thank you, Fulvio, because this is also, I would love, you also created a book, Fulvio. But then Sabino can tell us more.
Yes.
I met you, Fulvio, 2 years ago in Gaggenau in Roma.
Yeah.
So, and then it started all our, all our adventure with Sabino, being one of the youngest curator that I know, and he doesn't stop. And it's a tour de force, and he doesn't, his food is art. It doesn't stop 1 second. Sabino, can you tell us a bit more about this wonderful exhibition? They're going to be there until
yes, until February. Yeah, until February. For me, it was really interesting because, of course, I was really interested by the fact to involve people to go beyond the limits that everyone can have, because not only blind people, left people have limits, but every one of us has limits, and life is limits. So art is a tool maybe to understand that everyone is really similar to the other one, and that even that the blind people can look at the thing more deeply than other people. So when Fulvio tried to explain for the first time his work, I was really impressed by this fact, because at the end, blind people are the only one that can understand that the artworks are not abstract, but are reality, are Pantheon, are other monuments. So it was really interesting for me. But of course, what as a curator, as an expert of contemporary art, what is really like is the fact that Fulvio Morella can bring some reflection on the meaning of seeing. Because sometimes I wonder if I see because I have eyes. No, what does it mean to see? And so what art, what we heard before with your guest, is a demonstration that art can be and should be a multisensory experience, but also maybe we can define it as an holistic experience, because art is the tool that leads people to understand the essence of reality. And the essence of reality is not in what we see, but it what is the essence, is beyond what we see. So I'm really happy to join this discussion, because we have all demonstrated that art breaks down barriers and removes the veil from our eyes. That is really a veil. And so is a way to understand what is reality, and what is also what people have in common. So if I have to understand what I heard before. And of course, about Fulvio, it's really interesting the fact that his works are a translation for blind people of what we see. So when you start to think about the raining or about a monument, you want that to have the coincidence between what we see and what we can touch. And so it's a really an interesting thing. The other thing is that sometimes it reflects about the fact that even we all see the things, but we have a frontal view and we cannot see from another angle. So when we just turn a bit our view, we cannot realize the reality we are living. And so it was really fascinating.
Thank you, Sabine. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And Sabino, now you are in Milano.
No, I'm not in Milan, I'm in Turin, but because it's Sant'Ambrogio is the patron of Milan, so it's holiday.
I see. Okay. And the exhibition, where will it be, so that everybody could come?
It's in the center of Milan at the Gaggenau Design Elementi Hub in Corso Magenta, and I wish you can join and touch the walls.
Thank you very, very much. Grazie Sabino, grazie Fulvio. It's a wonderful, I think these works of art have to be experienced, and from real. So we hope all that we can travel very soon without any COVID restrictions, any COVID, more vaccinations, and so on. Is anyone would like to ask any questions? What are the dates of the exhibition? They're asking? I think Sabino, for Akan and Sabino.
I didn't understand the dates
of the exhibitions. We said until February.
From Monday to Friday, every week.
But until when? The end of February, Sabino?
I think 25. I don't remember exactly, but at the end of February.
And it is done for the Braille, especially for the inauguration of the day for the New Year. You're going
It will be open again. It will be closed on Christmas, and it will be open again from 6th of January.
Okay, thank you, Sabino. So if anyone would like to ask any questions to Akan, to Farah, to Shahina here, and Fulvio, please do. It would be wonderful. You have this, as I said, 4 warriors of art. No, and I think it's incredible and extraordinary. As I said, the first time we were talking to Farah about how important is really to experience art in different ways from what we sometimes we think to see, but we don't see. So it's extraordinary. David, I can see you are trying not to ask any questions, but since I can't hear you. While you are unmuting yourself, I have Eleanor that is asking to Farah. It would be interesting to see how people with sensory issues, like someone who is autistic, differ in how they process feeling the colors. Have you had any experience with this, Farah?
Oh, that's a wonderful question. Thank you, Eleanor. I really appreciate that, because I've had some very interesting experiences working with children in different schools who have autism, and they were in mainstream schools. And one of the examples are when I was doing the color exercise. So to start with children, to keep things very, very straightforward, I start off with like a green apple and a red apple, and I get them to sit there quietly. And we have to blindfold the children because they're very cheeky. Someone's going to peek, so you can't trust them. So we sit there, and there was 2 children in one of the classes who were experiencing very distinct warm energy waves, but it was in the opposite of the apple. So most of the children were experiencing the warm energy rays from the red apple, but these 2 children were experiencing them from the green apple, and they got it the same. They had the same result again and again, because then I tested them on paintings as well, and they distinctly felt heat from the white areas and cool energy from the red areas, and I found it fascinating. So from that experience, I actually did some extra testing on other workshops where there were teenagers who had autism, and it was the same thing. It was really interesting. So I don't know the details as to why that happens, but they translated the energy waves in a completely opposite way, but they were very accurate in their differentiations. So it wasn't that they were mixing it up. It was very distinct that the white energies for them felt a lot warmer in comparison to the reds, which were cooler, which is the opposite to somebody who didn't have autism. So yeah, it was really interesting. My pleasure, Eleanor.
Thank you, Farah. And again, David, you unmuted yourself now.
Yes, I did. I just always end up thinking, with all of the touching of the artworks, does anyone think about the durability of pieces going into the future? Do you know? You know what I mean?
Well, I mean,
I
for the workshop pieces that I have, they are created for the workshops. So then they don't get damaged at all. The paints that I use are very, very strong, and they're acrylics. You know, acrylic is very, very strong. So they don't get damaged. And even in the workshops, I use mixed media, papier mâché. I put popcorn, rice, different things that are very interesting to touch. Nothing gets damaged. Even if a few things are flicked off, I can glue it back and it's fine. So yeah.
I can add that we think about the fact that it's really important that art can last forever, because at the end, anything can last forever. So when I look at the famous old paintings, think about the Cenacolo by Leonardo da Vinci. It was a mistake, and they can resist till now, and other famous works that were perfectly made can survive. So I think we cannot stop doing art that involve people only because we are afraid that it can last less because it has been touched. So just do it.
Thank you, David, for no. It is. You know, at one time I remember an Italian contemporary painter. I sometimes you really want to touch, but you know, I was being sgridata. How like, don't touch it. So I was like, oh, terrorized. So now every time I'm very careful, because you know he is you know, as rightly you said, sometimes artists are not very happy with the touching. So it was quite. I was quite shocked that day. Since then, I was traumatized. No, I'm joking. But anyway, I think there are so many, and also, you know, statues, and then you really want to touch them. It's you know, they are asking for that, and it's beautiful. So I can't wait actually for Farah to come and you know, and feel your, because I think it's about emotions. It's really about emotions, and in all of you, I think there is this thread of helping each other, bringing a community together, which is it's really what you are doing every day. So I thank you all for, you know, for joining us tonight, and for having realized all these wonderful projects. Thank you. So anyone with one more questions before the you know, our Zoom will end soon, and everybody will have a wonderful evening or afternoon.
I have a question for Farah.
Yes.
Farah, when you make your paintings, are you thinking about anything specific that then a person who feels it will see also?
Right, interesting question.
You know what I mean? Do they get what you're thinking?
Yeah, no,
or does that not matter? Maybe that doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate the question. And the way I create the art is nothing is planned. So the only thing that is planned is the color combination. And I'm not joking. What I do is I'm just standing there and I really just want to feel what I'm feeling from the inside to the canvas. I've never actually been able to plan anything. And this is it's very bizarre for me, because I actually hated abstracts before I started to create them, which I still can't get my head around. So in 2006, when I started to create abstracts, it came out of the blue. I don't know. And I didn't have a fall. I didn't hit my head anywhere or anything. I don't know why it happened, but it just happened. And prior to that, I was creating representational art. So when I started to create abstracts, it just came from within. And because it all worked so well and I was very satisfied, I never have questioned it. I just embrace it. So the only thing I can share is the color combination, and even the levels of textures come out as they come out. I don't plan that either.
Yeah. So you have no expectation as far as what someone will get from the...
No, I don't have any. I get surprised. Sometimes I stand back and think, whoa, where did that come from? So and that's me, that's me creating it. So that's what I like sharing with others. I say to them, what do you see? I want to know what you see. So yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Myself again, hello. So here we are. Thank you, David. No, it's a very interesting, because when we create or we create also when we write, what do you think, David? It's the same when you write?
Oh no. Writing for me has to be very precise. I'm trying to be very clear, and I want someone to understand what I'm trying to say. That's the difference with words versus paintings, I suppose.
But then again, you can be a bit not abstract, but you can
a different type of writing for me.
Yes, there are different. You see, somebody told me, I can feel when you are your words when you write. So it's really depends on the but it's in any case a beautiful piece that I hope everybody. We have two writers of our Art Talk magazine, David with a wonderful piece, so and Sabino. So please do write our magazine, and I hope to have a wonderful piece about tonight in our next Art Talk magazine. I think that would be fantastic. Grazie, Khan, and thank you all. Thank you, Farah. Thank you, Shahina, David, of course, to be always so supportive in all our talks. Thank you. And I would love to thank you, everybody. Sabino, if you're still there, I don't see you anymore. And Fulvio, I don't go. Okay, grazie. Veramente, I know it's very late in Italy, and thank you again for being in a holiday evening to come and join us tonight. And Asad, is he there? I can't thank you, and if anyone would like to ask, you have now the moment before we end up our wonderful art talk. I think we could speak for hours. I think it's so interesting and so beautiful and so inspiring.
Thank you, Carolina, and thank you for everyone. I mean, it's been a pleasure for me to share our project, our purpose, because it's all about purpose-driven works. That's why we describe ourselves social entrepreneurs rather than entrepreneurs. So yeah, thank you.
But thanks to all of you, we are creating a better world. So
can I just say also, thank you so much, Carolina, for everything that you do. And the energy that you have is absolutely bonkers. I need to know if you have some, what you're on. But anyway, thank you very much. I really appreciate everything that you do. And thank you everyone for joining us this evening as well.
Well, I can tell you my secret It's a drug. It's a terrible drug. It's love, love,
Oh,
love.
That's
So
what I was gonna say, Carolina. That's what I was gonna say.
this is what, and the passion, and you know, I think we're all sharing this incredible passion, and it's all what, you know, it is. It's an honor for me to have you all here. It's you don't know how important it is for me to share your you know, your art projects are really what will, you know, what will be a difference in you know, in the art, and it's wonderful. And I thank you so much for, you know, for being us with us and sharing this incredible energy. And for you all of you have an, you know, we don't stop. That's what we do. We don't stop. And me and Francois, I think it's I'm talking for him. Unfortunately, he was with us until now, but he had to jump in another Zoom, and he just says how incredible. And thank you. And as I said, I would love to have, you know, a piece on this on the next
wonderful.
Art Talk magazine, which will be in February. So everybody, please. So anyway, thank you again for all of you for being here. And I wish you a wonderful, wonderful evening or afternoon.